Scene 1. The Pennsylvania Graph House. The Declaration of Independence is written to declare independence from Great Britain. The Declaration was written in Philadelphia Independence Hall. Colonists were not happy about the laws the British Parliament made. The person who wrote it is none other than Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Paine wrote a book called Common Sense. Many people started considering declaring themselves out of British Parliament.
You have to write the Declaration of Independence. 1, you are a better writer than me. 2, you are more popular among the people.
Fine, I'll write it. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. All men have these rights. All men are equal. Jefferson made the Declaration in 4 parts. The first part is an introduction stating that the Declaration will show why the colonies needed to be free. In the second part, Jefferson laid out the ideas on which the new country will be built. The third part was the longest, and it was all the ways the king and parliament treated them unfairly. In the final part, it introduces the new country's name, the United States of America, and states that England has no control over them. 2.5 weeks later, Thomas Jefferson was finished writing the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson then showed his draft to the Second Continental Congress. They kept everything but the paragraph on slavery, because many states like Georgia and South Carolina will never agree to those terms. They're based upon slaves and their big plantations. Scene 2, Independence Hall. The paragraph on slavery, in other words, means that the wrong king brought people who did nothing wrong across the sea, enslaved them, and did not care that many would die. And now he's convinced slaves to rise up and fight against us in exchange for freedom. It was one of the passages that got cut. I can't believe they cut part of the document.
We had to, because some colonies like South Carolina and Georgia needed all that free labor for the plantations. Also, even the northern colonies are benefited from the slave trade. The southern states use their ships.
But the slaves will be angry.
You'll just have to leave it the way it is. The Second Continental Congress wants it like this. You're just going to have to leave it like that. Not all people agree to that term, and many will still disagree.
Fine, but I'm telling you this might not go well.
Remember, don't include the things we said not to in the real thing.
Okay. After the Declaration was published, news got around quickly to everyone in every colony, including the slaves.
This is outrageous.
Why did they not include us if they want freedom? And why don't they give us freedom?
Well, it's not like we could do anything about it. It's already published. They decided not every single state in the South would agree to those terms, like states in the South.
But it says all men are created equally and have the same rights, and they're definitely not treating us equally like they treat white men.
You got that right. I guess we have to figure something out. King George says that if we will fight against the Patriots, he will give us freedom. All we have to do is run away, and he'll supply us with weapons and other things we need.
Meanwhile, in London, Great Britain, King George is furious about the colonists declaring independence. He wanted to stop the colonists from forming their own country.
This is outrageous. We own the land. Just because the Parliament, who rules the land, is thousands of miles away, does not mean we don't control over them. That Second Continental Congress is crazy about declaring independence. Our ships and soldiers sent there immediately.
King George also said that if enslaved people ran away from their slave owners, they could fight for Great Britain in exchange for freedom. Not all the people agree with the Patriots. Many still disagree with the idea of breaking away from Great Britain. Slavery continued for many years after America got their freedom from Great Britain. Slaves worked for many years till the 1860s came. Abraham Lincoln was elected president and fought in a war called the Civil War to free all slaves for decades to come.